Hello everyone, this is Diego Tinkuhoy, and it's been a long time since I last posted a video, so let's get to it. Today, the manga I want to review is none other than Issak by Double S. Now, Issak is a unique manga to me because it takes place during the Holy Roman Empire in the 17th century, I think, and it's unique because that's not a setting I've seen being used often in anime or manga. So that's one thing that can get you interested in the manga, the unique setting that it's using for its story. It's basically a historical fiction action adventure story. So yeah, that's the genre it kind of falls under. Now the story follows a man named Isaac who is from Japan, and he has traveled all the way from Japan to find the man who stole something from the shogun. So I don't want to spoil the story, but in order to save a girl's life, a girl that he knows, Isaac made a promise to the shogun to bring back a weapon that a certain man he knows stole from him. So if he does that, the girl's life gets spared. So that's why Isaac is on this journey when we see him in the beginning of the story. So yeah, that's basically it. So the story is kind of simple enough to follow. That's the premise. He is trying to find someone and bring back something in order to save someone. Yeah, it's basically the story. But it isn't that easy because it gets more complicated than that because it's set during the Holy Roman Empire and there's a war going on, between Catholics and Protestants. At least so that's what you're going to be seeing in the story, right? There's a lot of these are the facts you'll see a lot of factions against each other. So it's not easy for him to just find the man he's looking for. So sometimes he has to help a certain side fight another, a certain side fight a war and stuff like that. So he's like a mercenary at the beginning of the story because that's what he does. He's basically a mercenary, so he fights wars for certain people, and he gets paid, and he hopes it also brings him closer to finding that man because he's just traveling around trying to find him. But he gets himself into these situations where he has to be hired as a mercenary to fight for them and help them win a battle and stuff like that. So he meets a lot of characters on the way. He meets a lot of people, a lot of characters I don't really remember, but that's not the characters to a certain degree aren't the best part of the story. For me, the best part of the story is his relationship with the villain because the antagonist is a very good foil to him. So Isaac is the only guy during that period that has a gun. Or well, that's what you think at first. He's the only guy that has a gun. It's a musket, I think. So when he's hired as a mercenary, he kind of helps them win battles quite handily because a gun against swords and spears is, it's kind of unfair, even though he's just one man with a gun, but he's a really good shot with that gun. So whenever he snipes the enemy's general or something, they kind of give up and then they kind of forfeit the battle, they kind of lose. So that with that being said, it makes him kind of overpowered, but it doesn't make him overpowered for long because when the villain shows up, it's revealed that the villain too also has a gun and is also as good as Isaac in when it comes to using guns. So he's a good foil for Isaac in that way. He's also with him being the villain again. He doesn't have certain moral. He doesn't have any moral obligation to not get innocent people involved. He uses whatever means necessary to get what he wants. And Isaac is the opposite. He doesn't like it when innocent people or people that are close to him get hurt. So there are certain things he can't do. He can't just go in guns blazing and stuff like that. He has to take his time and think about what he's going to do and make sure that nobody gets hurt. So the dynamics or the dynamic between him and the villain is quite interesting, especially when they have history together. So yeah, that's a very solid part of the story. The art is also really good. I like the art style. It's really nice. The way the characters look, the way the character designs are, they all look well. To be honest, every character in this manga looks beautiful. That's just the truth. So yeah, the art style is good. The story is good enough to follow. The characters are good. Isaac is good. It has quite a few action scenes too, because Isaac doesn't only use guns. He's also a swordsman, so he can also use that when he's needed to use a sword, he can also use a sword. So you get to see a lot of sword action too and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a really good manga with interesting characters and interesting plot, a very unique setting. and a good villain, and it's only 30, just like 30 chapters so far. It's like 32 chapters to be precise. That's the last chapter I read. So yeah, it's still an ongoing manga, and there's still a lot more you can explore, and I hope it explores a lot more. So yeah, this is my recommendation for Isaac. This is my review for the manga called Isaac. It's an underrated manga. I don't see a lot of people talk about it. So yeah, that's my review. Read Isaac. It has a good story. It has good characters, a good villain, enough action, a unique setting. So yeah, check it out. This is Diego Tinklehoy, and wherever you are, I hope you have a nice day. Peace.